Ashley Madison. You got to love Ashley Madison, huh? Absolutely. Unbelievable. 32 million, okay? 32 million people contemplated what's known as ethical cheating.
Ethically cheating.
Is that an oxymoron?
That's
And we got Tamara Hayden coming up in about 20 minutes. And since we have two more comedians left, I'm not going to take another moment. I'm going to bring up Why Not right now. Why Not? Come on up here and rock it. Rock the stage.
Hey.
Yay, why not? Yay.
Turn around, buddy.
Woo, yay.
Well, I'm very excited about this party tomorrow. And I've got to go through all my bikinis to find the right bikini because Tim Ray told me it's going to be really sleazy. And I got to find my sleaziest bikini. Did you know it was going to be sleazy, see?
It's going to be those.
Okay.
A taxidermist driving through the backwoods of Kentucky. He thought he'd stop at a local bar and have a beer. Well, the locals didn't like outsiders in their bar, and when he entered, he was greeted with really dirty stares and mumbles. So he went to the bartender, got a beer. The barman's, "What do you do?" "Well, I'm a taxidermist." "Taxidermist? What's that?" "Well, I mount animals, birds, and fish." The bartender turns to all the men in the bar and goes, "It's okay, boys, she's one of us."
That's terrible.
I know, I love terrible jokes.
I know.
An
I love
elderly
it.
fisherman's at home dying in bed, and he smells his favorite aroma, chocolate chip cookies baking. He wanted one last cookie before he died, and he crawled out to the kitchen, reached to the cookie sheet, and grabbed a warm, moist chip. His wife smacked his hand with a spatula and said, "Leave him alone, they're for the funeral."
Wow.
Man's out in his rowboat, and he suddenly passes a speedboat that raises huge waves, and the man's oars fall overboard. He's stranded in the middle of the lake, and about 2 hours later, he sees another rowboat going by with a man and two women, so he's screaming, "Hey, buddy, can I borrow one of your oars?" And the other guy says, "They're not whores, they're my sisters."
Jesus.
I was babysitting my little nephew. He was only 3 years old the other day, and well, I had to childproof my whole home, and it really worked. He was running around screaming for 3 hours. Yeah, he never did get in. Oh, yeah. I was a teenager. We got arrested for vandalizing a graveyard, but we got a really great lawyer. He got all the charges knocked down to trespassing and necrophilia. We were so yesterday when I was driving, I hit this kid with my car. It wasn't serious, though. Nobody saw me. This Irish man finds a genie in a lamp, and he rubs it, and out comes this genie. The genie says, "Master, you've released me from the lamp, and I grant you 3 wishes. What would you like?" The Irishman scratches his head, and he says, "A bottle of Guinness that never gets empty." "Granted, master," the genie said, and he gave the bottle. And the man was delighted. He got drunk on this thing. And weeks later, he had realized that he had 2 more wishes. So he rubbed the lamp again, and the genie comes back. "Yes, master, you have 2 more wishes. What would you like?" "You know that magic, never-ending Guinness bottle? Well, my final 2 wishes, I'd like another 2. Oh. This man goes to a psychologist, and he says, "I got a real problem. I can't stop thinking about sex." And the psychologist goes, "Well, let's see what we can find out." And he pulls out the ink blot test. "What is this a picture of?" And the man turns it upside down and around, and he goes, "It's a man and a woman on a bed and making love." The psychologist says, "Very interesting." Shows him another one. "What's that?" The man turns it in different directions. He goes, "This is a man and a woman on a bed making love." The psychologist tries again with a third ink blot, and he asks the same question. Guy says, "Well, it's a man and a woman on a bed making love." Psychologist says, well, you do seem obsessed with sex. Me? You're the one who keeps showing me these dirty pictures. A fisherman came home one evening and he found his 8-year-old son riding on a new 10-speed bike. Boy, where'd you get the money for that bike? It must have cost $300. Well, Dad, I earned it hiking, said the son, every other night. While you've been fishing, Mr. Green from the bait shop come to see Ma. He give me $20 and he told me to take a hike. This country priest loves to fly fish. It's an obsession of his. So far this year, the weather's been so bad he hasn't had a chance to put on his waders or get his flies out of the box. So this Sunday he's supposed to go to work, but the weather forecast is perfect. So he calls a fellow priest, says he lost his voice with the flu. He asks him to take over the sermon on Sunday, and he drives several miles to a river near the coast so nobody will recognize him. Well, this angel up in heaven's keeping watch and sees what he's doing. He tells God, and God decides to do something about it. Well, with the first cast of his line, a huge fish mouth gulps the whole fly. For over an hour, the priest runs up and down the bank fighting this fish. At the end, he lands this monster-sized fish. Turns out to be a world record salmon. And the angel's confused, and he says to God, what the heck do you let him catch that huge fish for? I thought you were going to teach him a lesson. And God says, I did. Who do you think he's going to tell? This man walks up to a woman in his office, and he tells her hair smells really nice, and the woman goes into her supervisor's office immediately. Tells him she wants to file a sexual harassment suit, and she explains why. And the supervisor says, well, what's wrong with your coworker telling you your hair smells nice? She says, he's a freaking midget.
Oh my God.
A blonde, a brunette, and a redhead all work for the same office for this female boss, and she always goes home early. Well, hey, girl, says the brunette, let's go home early tomorrow. She'll never know. So the next day, they all leave right after the boss, and the brunette gets some extra gardening. The redhead goes to a bar. The blonde goes home, and she finds her husband having sex with a female boss. She sneaks out of the house, comes back at her normal time. That was fun, said the brunette. We should do it again. No way, says the blonde. I almost got caught. The son asks his father, what can you tell me about politics, Dad? I got to learn it for school tomorrow. So the father thought alone. He goes, okay, well, best way I can describe politics is to use an analogy. Let's say I'm a capitalist because I'm the breadwinner. Your mom will be the government because she controls everything. Our maid's going to be the working class because she works for us. And you'll be the people because you answer to us. Your baby brother will be the future. Does that help you? The little boy goes, well, I don't know, but I'll think about what you said, Dad. Well, later that night, after everyone went to bed, the little boy was awakened by his brother's crying. So he went to his brother, and he saw that he had a dirty diaper. He went down the hall to his parents' bedroom to tell the parents. Well, his father's side of the bed was empty. He couldn't wake his mom up, and then he saw a light in the guest room down the hall, and through the crack he could see his dad was in bed with a maid. Well, he went back to bed, and the next morning he said to his father, Dad, I think I understand politics a lot better now. Great, my boy, what you learn? The little boy thought, and he goes, well, I learned capitalism is screwing the working class, government's sound asleep ignoring the people, and the future's full of crap. Einstein dies and he goes to heaven. At the pearly gates, St. Peter tells him, you look like Einstein, but you have no idea the length some people will go in order to sneak into heaven. Can you prove who you really are? Einstein ponders a few seconds and he says, well, could I have a blackboard and some chalk? St. Peter snaps his fingers and the blackboard and chalk instantly appear, and Einstein describes mathematical symbols, his theory of relativity, everything, and St. Peter's impressed. You really are Einstein. Welcome to heaven. Well, next to arrive was Picasso. Once again, St. Peter asked for credentials, and Picasso goes, mind if I use that blackboard and chalk? Go ahead, St. Peter says. So he erases Einstein's equations, sketches a stunning mural with just a few strokes of chalk. St. Peter claps. Wow! You really are the great artist you claim to be. Come on in. And then St. Peter looks up and he sees George W. Bush. St. Peter scratches his head and he says, Einstein and Picasso both managed to prove their identity. How can you prove yours? George W. looks bewildered and he says, who are Einstein and Picasso? And St. Peter goes, come on in, George. Yeah, bad. This older lady's really lonely, and she decides she needs a pet to keep her company, so she goes to the pet shop, and she can't find anything to catch her interest but this one ugly frog. So as she walks by the barrel, he looks up and he's winking at her. He goes, I'm lonely too. Buy me and you won't be sorry. The old lady thinks, well, why not? She hasn't found anything else, so she buys it and takes it to her car. She's driving down the road, and the frog whispers, kiss me, and you won't be sorry. So the old lady thinks, what the hell? She kisses the frog, and immediately, this frog turns into an absolutely gorgeous, sexy, handsome young prince. And then the prince kisses her back. And you know what she turned into?
What?
The first motel she could find. And last but not least, Tom, Dick, and Harry are about to tee off on the golf course when this stranger asks if he could join them. Well, they're friendly, so they let him in, and they start talking about their professions. The stranger says he's a hitman. He's actually carrying his gun in his golf bag. Well, Tom doesn't believe him, so he asks if he could see it. Well, inside the bag, there's a rifle, a telescopic sight, and everything. Harry asks, well, can I look through it? Wow! I could see my house with this. Look, there's my bedroom window. I can even see my wife sitting on the bed. But then he turns pale. Oh, my God. She's in there with our neighbor, and they're both stark naked. And he's furious. He hands the hitman back the gun, and he goes, how much to shoot my lying wife in the mouth and my cheating neighbor in the dick? And the hitman says, well, I get $1,000 every time I pull the trigger. It's a deal. Do it now. So the hitman picks up the rifle. He takes aim, and he waits. Well, after a few seconds, Harry's like, what the hell are you doing? Shh! I'm trying to save you $1,000. Thank you very much.
Well, that was great.